Unfortunately, in some sections, there seems to be too much of an exaltation of India having taken a very tough decision. Is that the case? Or is this too little too late? Harish Salve, former Solicitor General, Mahesh Jetmalani, Senior Advocate, live from Mumbai, Ujjwal Nigam, Special Public Prosecutor, Ajit Doval, former Director, Intelligence Bureau, Navkiran Singh, Human Rights Lawyer, Neeraj Kishan Kaul of the Supreme Court, Amin Solkar, who was appointed Kasav's lawyer, Senior Advocate from Mumbai, and Aslam Ghani, Senior Advocate. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have complete division in the House tonight. Harish Salve, let me begin with you. Should this not have happened much earlier?
Arnab, you know you're provoking me, so let me get provoked. This should have happened in 3 months. I still maintain my position that he should have been treated as a prisoner of war. By treating him as a terrorist, you've given a wrong message and tried him under the criminal justice system. Well, if you put him in the criminal justice system, the system takes its time, and we've had to wait for 4 years. There's been considerable heartburn. But when somebody talks of closure, I get extremely angry.
Yeah.
There is no question of closure. The warriors are all at large, and the investigation is far from over. And let me flag this issue today on your channel.
Yes.
What about the Indian counterparts who must have helped this happen? What about delaying the federal agency who I believe was dealt with very oddly? What about refusing to cooperate with the Israelis who had promised to deliver a lot of these terrorists alive? A lot of these questions...
No, what are you suggesting? Are you suggesting, Mr. Salve, that the Indian authorities deliberately slowed down the investigation to help Kasav?
Not to help Kasav. I'm sorry to say, we are still way below mark in dealing with terrorism. We are way below the standard. And I'm not very sure that we have heard all the answers as to how. I refuse to believe such a massive operation could have been planned with zero cooperation from within our shores. I have not heard of a single person within our shores being really brought to book.
No, tonight, however, we are talking of Kasav. No, tonight, however, we are talking of Kasav. In this particular case, a strong view emerges. We waited for 4 years. What did we achieve? Amin Solkar, tell us, what did we achieve? Aslam Ghani, you're on the other side. What did we achieve? We are today, patting ourselves in the back saying we have gone through a long, laborious process, and in the eyes of the law, internationally, we have been vindicated as a law-abiding country. If we had said this man is a prisoner of war, we need to deal with him as a prisoner of war, have a summary trial, would the world have pointed fingers at us?
I don't think so, because this was the basic arguments before the Honorable High Court that he should be treated. I fully agree with what Mr. Harish Salve said, that he should be treated as a prisoner of war, because basically he had come here, and that was the charge against him, that he was waging war against India.
Absolutely.
So when that was the charge, obviously he should have been treated as a prisoner of war.
Now, why didn't we do that? Aslam,
and we allege complicity of Pakistan.
And we allege complicity of Pakistan. We could have dealt with the case extremely differently. Aslam Ghani, in retrospect, there is no reason to celebrate tonight because this is too little and too late.
I don't know, see, in fact, I have got my own views about it.
No, express your views. I'm not holding you back.
I may not agree with what my two friends are saying. See, we have got a system, and in the system, the trial is a right, and the civil liberty, according to our constitution, is not only available to the citizens of the India, this is available to any person being in India. So the trial conducted, and thereafter giving him all opportunities to have all the remedies. So the thing which had to happen has happened.
No, why is there almost a sense of despondency among, if I may say so, the human rights lobbies today? There seems to be a sense of nervousness and despondency among the human rights lobbies who are worried this will be made an example for others. Of course it should be made an example for others, including Afzal Guru. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Aslam Ghani? Including Afzal Guru.
No, you see,
this should be made an example for Afzal Guru.
No, and I tell you, see, Afzal Guru's case is entirely a different case. We should not comment on something which still the highest constitutional authority of the country has to exercise the power.
No. I think we should. I think we should ask those questions today. There is no difference.
See, the President of India has yet to decide the mercy petition.
Yes.
And I think it may be premature to comment on this, that, everyone
certainly not. What have the people of this country been told? What have the people of this country been told? The people of this country have been told on their face that there is a queue. Tonight I'm asking, where is the queue? Mahesh Jethmalani, what happened to the queue? We heard of a queue, Mr. Jethmalani. What happened to the queue in the case of Kasav?
Absolutely, that's a very relevant question, Arnab. I fully agree with you. But that question is best posed to the fertile imagination of Mr. Chidambaram, which conceived the idea of this queue. We must ask him what happened to the queue and how come suddenly the queue ceases to exist because of Kasab, and what happened to people before him like Afzal Guru. It's a very, very pertinent question, and the ex-Home Minister should certainly answer that, and so should the current Home Minister. That is there a queue? Was there ever a queue? Or were we just being fobbed off with some totally bogus excuse?
Was this a bogus excuse? Neeraj Kishan call, where is the queue?
Well, Arnav, I think there is no justification absolutely in delaying decision on mercy petitions. The Supreme Court way back in the early 80s and even earlier said there must be a self-imposed regulation, by and large decide expeditiously within 3 months, and don't use human beings as pawns in your larger governmental and political games. It's unfortunate as events are unfolding in this country that all these petitions have become part of a larger political game and policy herein, and no one is taking a decision expeditiously, which is what they are required to do.
No,
what is decided is another issue.
Have the people of this country been misled? Have the people of this country been misled on the queue? Where is the queue, I'm asking tonight?
No,
in 2009, the Prime Minister of India says, the Prime Minister of India says on April 14, 2009, there are cases much above in the list where the death penalty is being reviewed, mercy petitions have been pending, and no decision has been taken to execute the death sentence. And therefore, to take up Afzal Guru's case as an isolation is improper. Kasab's case was an isolation, wasn't it? Kasab's case was an isolation. Why not Afzal Guru?
I don't agree. I don't know where they get this concept of a queue. I really don't know. And personally speaking, I think these are all excuses to delay matters and not to decide them expeditiously.
Arnab?
Exactly. Then let's push the government to answer us now. What happens in the case of Afzal Guru? It's a most logical question to ask today. Closure is not selected.
Absolutely.
I'd like to get Ujwal Nigam at this point. Ujwal Nigam, tell me about the delays in this case. I'm sure you feel vindicated to some extent because you've been pushing the case as the principal prosecutor. But what about the delay? Can you open up today on the delay?
There are two issues now. So far as delay in conducting the trial, absolutely there was no delay. We have conducted this trial throughout, right from the Sessions Court, High Court to Supreme Court. This trial has been completed within the span of 2.5 years. Now, where is the question of delay? Absolutely there is no delay. Because it's a democratic country. Kasab has taken a different stance. We have met out their case. And not only that, we have established the case against the Kasab, but we have placed on the record as to how the criminal conspiracy was hatched in Pakistan. That is the biggest finding that we got from the judicial court. I think that is the greatest ever achievement. This is not a banana country where we can treat any person who is coming from abroad and we can treat him as a prisoner of war. Absolutely, this idea is totally fallacious.
Okay, Harish Salve is responding to you, Mr. Nikam.
Next time we have a war with Pakistan,
yes,
we will tell our soldiers, don't shoot them, please arrest them, bring them, we'll try them expeditiously.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Arnab, I'm very sorry, I don't agree with Mr. Salve, because that war is different, whereas there is no law as such. You have to kill the person whenever he comes on our border. This is not, he has entered here.
What is the difference between
he was captured,
a state-sponsored soldier who sneaks in and a state-sponsored soldier who comes in openly after declaring war? I think the latter is worse than the former.
A person,
because the second fellow is guilty of
so far as I can understand, a person who has entered the Indian territory illegally and if he commits a crime, he should be tried according to our penal code. That is the very simple provision. He cannot be tried under the Military Act.
One minute.
That would be totally
if a soldier,
Mr. Harish Salve would
if a
have
soldier comes guns blazing,
Okay, we are getting some rebuts, but first from Harish
entering
Salve.
legally with a visa, is he?
I think
Gentlemen, should we open up the debate? Can I just get a couple of words in from Ajit Doval, from Navkiran Singh, and then I open up this debate, gentlemen. Yes, Ajit Doval, you're responding to some of the points made by Harish Salve and Ujjwal
I
Nikam.
have
Go
just a
ahead.
very small point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to respond to the point that was made that the Indian law does not allow that, and therefore we have to proceed only according to a certain procedure.
Yes.
Musharraf 2 days back said that in Kargil we had sent only some Northern Line infantry people and some of the Mujahideen who were there. They were not regular soldiers. Why did Indian Army respond with all its force and did not try them? Because even at that point of time, by your own admission, they were intruders and not the Pakistan Army attack. But we responded militarily, and all the rules of war were implemented under the Vienna Convention, including handing over of the prisoners and their diaries and their depositions, etc. that they make. So the position of Mr. Harish Salve is perfectly correct under the rules of war. Under Vienna Convention, we can always stretch it. We only had to declare that this particular act amounted to an act of aggression by an unfriendly act.
And when we have that,
we would have gone according to the procedure.
When we have that information with us, when we have the information of the involvement of state actors, when we have the information about the involvement of the ISI, when we have American investigators backing us up on that information, why should this not be the case? Mahesh Jetmalani, going back to you, because I saw you raise your hand there. Why should we not take the case that this is an act of war and we treat it differently, so that the next time anybody tries to do a Kasav in India, he knows he'll get a summary trial and go to the gallows in a weeks, not in 4 years, living off Indian taxpayer money and stories of the amount of biryani he's consumed and the 50 crores that he's cost the Indian exchequer and the taxpayer don't become a standard national joke. Mahesh Jetmalani, do you agree with Harish Salve?